Hi, how are you?
Wait,
Hi.
Oh, hello.
Hey.
Hi. Nice to meet you. Nice to be talking with you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, thanks for taking the time to talk with me. I love the film. I already watched it 3 times, and
Three times. Wow.
Oh,
yes, yes,
That's
wow.
yes.
more
I
than
watched it
I
on the big
do.
screen. I watched it for the screener, and then I watched it again for this interview. So I
Oh,
loved it.
goodness. Thank you.
What I love about it is that yes, it's horror, but in substance, it's also a love story. So, Joe, I wanted to start with you. What I love about Name is that what makes him human is that he carries the guilt that it's handed to him, and he doesn't always handle it well. Also, while also learning to accept himself. So, playing someone so imperfect and human like all of us. How did you find your way into him? And also, how did Adrian pitch this movie to you?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think at the end of the day, it's I'm not a perfect person either. So it's like, no one, people who are perfect are boring, right? So it's like
Yeah.
these characters have like all these flaws in this depth. And, it's not necessarily that Adrian had to pitch anything to me because it was all there in the script. And it was more like I was going to him, I want to be a part of this, not the other way around, right? And yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to like play those two emotions and live in that sort of world because I know that me and Adrian spoke a lot about kind of when that guilt would turn into regret, and then kind of like now what points in the story you know this character is feeling, I guess, because as this story kind of goes on, these people all change and all mature, and they all do, they all change, right? So I think, yeah, it was just like figuring out at what points and where, and kind of like how on an album where songs cohesively transition, right? It's like the scenes have to transition together and they also have to grow and move. So that
I,
yeah.
I love that his emotional journey gets told in the reflections and the
Yeah.
glass and the windows. I love that. Yeah, Adrian, you're a genius. Stacey, what I think happens between Ryan and Name is a never loose chemistry. It's always contained, and it looks
Mm.
that you work a lot with Adrian on that, and you also play the entity through most of the film. So congratulations on that. And I
Thank you.
think so much of the desire and horror in this film gets spoken through the body, like through the language of rough love that a lot of us as men learn at a young age. So
Mm.
having to explore these two sides of the same root as physical contact, what was it working with Adrian to figure that tension, that love, that kind of violence, and that language out?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, yeah, it was quite a precise and specific process, with multiple, not just the relationship between Ryan and Name, but you talked a little bit about that violence and physicality. We also see that between Ryan and Hunter's character as
Yeah.
well. And that was kind of where we showed that bit of it, especially that was a relationship that we kind of really broke down, one that's goes back years and years and years, where that kind of, yeah, like the violence is taught between men is taught from a young age, and it kind of manifested into this. So the relationship between uh Hunter and Ryan and Name and Ryan are very different. And Name is kind of the first time Ryan is feeling something genuinely emotional and genuinely real. There's of course emotions involved in this relationship with Hunter, lots of them. But this new definition of what love and care means is completely new to him with Name. But in terms of working with Adrian to figure all the nuances of that, it was just lots of conversations, lots of research into the context around queer relationships and things like that. But yeah, it was quite researched, I'd say, I feel.
And it shows in the movie. Adrian, as I mentioned before, for me, this is a love story told through horror. The genre is just a vehicle, not the destination. So my question isn't whether, it's why. Of all the ways to tell a story about love and guilt that comes with it, why was horror the language that resonated most with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a love story. It's also a story that deals with homophobia. And I think horror is the genre of fear. So when you're exploring any type of fear, this is the space to do it and to make the audience really feel it in their bodies. It's also a genre that I think has meant a lot to the queer community throughout history. A lot of us who are when we're teenagers, growing up queer, we turn to these kinds of movies. I think it's something we've all had in common. So I just wanted to tap into that. It was that element of it with the genre was very personal to me.
There's a book that it's called "It Came from the Closet,"
And from
which
the
talks
closet,
about horror
yeah,
and I know that
there's amazing essays. Yeah.
your movie will be like in a second edition of that
Oh,
of that book.
I should be so lucky. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you very much for this interview. Before I go really quickly without spoiling anything, that conversation right before the third act, like between Naeem and Ryan, made me sigh. It was so romantic. And you really spoke to my younger self, the horror kid and the queer teenager in me. So thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a really nice press day and thank you for your kindness.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
man.